This is a lovely little road. I do wish that they would repave it because it's a little bumpy, but that's all right. It's September, and pardon me, nose is itchy. It's September, and it is really nice. For those of you that watch my channel, and you'll probably have noticed that there is a fairly big gap that I didn't post anything. So at least, well, pretty much a month. So from, mid to late July to, mid to end of August. And that was because I was away in California, so just actually outside of San Francisco for work. And I must say, being down there, there's a lot of roads that I probably would not be a fan of riding on, and those would be, like I say, roads, just the highways, and possibly just riding in and out of, San Francisco and that, because me being from a town here, like Ottawa, this is my traffic, and this is the kind of traffic I like. I'm a fan of this because, it's me and a couple cars, and even when it's really busy, it's not that busy. Being down in that area, I realized what busy traffic was truly like, and that part of it I was not a fan of. Now, what I was a fan of, and I did wish, I was like, man, this would be awesome to be on a bike. There was a couple roads. And of course, we went down Highway 1, which was a road from San Francisco that goes all the way down the coast, and I believe it starts even higher. But we took it from San Francisco all the way down to Santa Cruz, and I have to say, that's an absolutely fantastic road, and I would love to get the opportunity to one day ride on that, because it's a fantastic way to see the ocean on one side of you and curvy roads that you're on, and beautiful California on your left hand side, or vice versa, depending on which way you're riding on it. So yeah, we really enjoyed that road. Now, because we were actually in the San Jose area, a friend of mine who had been there earlier told me about this restaurant, and I'm going to give them a plug. Okay, so it's a restaurant just outside of San Jose, and I say just outside of San Jose because, when you look at how many miles away it is, and or, it's like, I don't know, so we got on this road called Mount Robson Road. And on my GPS, it was like, okay, it's 34 miles from this point to the junction, which is this tiny little restaurant, and honestly, it's in the middle of nowhere. There is nothing around it. It is just where two roads cross. But, awesome people, barely anybody there. When I pulled up, when we pulled up, there's four of us. There was three people that you could tell were just locals, that had lived, it's funny that they lived in the hills, because that's where it is. I don't know who else goes there. And there was three guys on motorcycles that had been riding through this. And all I can say was the road to the joint, and from the joint on the other side, because it goes through the hills and mountains around San Jose. Crazy. That 34 miles, which in theory you would think would take, half hour, 45 minutes. And yes, we stopped to take pictures and stuff like that, because, it's a lovely area. But 2 hours. We were averaging between 20 and 30 miles an hour. It is a crazy curvy road that just seems to go on forever. Now, a friend of mine, I was in the passenger seat going up to the junction, because I was gonna, trying to take pictures and stuff, and I wanted the opportunity to be able to, hang out the window and stuff like that, and take pictures and look for whatever little spots that we could stop. by the time we got there, and we didn't expect this, we were, we worked till 5, 6 o'clock, and we got back to our hotel, and from our hotel, got ready, and we started off. So let's say 6 o'clock we started off. Like honestly, we got there at like 9. That's how long it took us. A friend of mine told me, he's like, be prepared, it's a long drive. And I was like, yeah, whatever, okay, I get it. It goes to the mountains, you drive a little slower. No, this is ridiculously slow, and there's sections on it that it's single lane. And I mean single lane, that means, 2 cars really shouldn't be going through this road at the same time, because the road's not really wide enough for the 2 of you. So luckily we didn't come across any cars while we were doing that. But anyway, we went for dinner at this place called The Junction, which is awesome. Don't expect that you'll have any kind of like Wi-Fi or cellular service, because you won't. We had nothing. So it was funny because, of course, I'm living on a credit card while I'm down there, because it's the easy way for me to track how much I'm spending, and especially going from Canadian dollars to American dollars, I just let the credit card deal with it. So I'm not even thinking. We pull up to this place, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, there's no cellular service, there's no phone service, there's no nothing. Man, I hope that they have some form of like debit or credit card or something, because if they're a cash only, we just spent the last 3 hours coming up here for nothing. But needless to say, great success. They do accept credit card, and for those of you that are in the know with all the technology kind of stuff, it's kind of cool because they're using a Square system. So their point of sale system is an iPad with one of those little Square readers in it. So they did everything through that, and as soon as I got back to cellular area, my receipt got emailed to me, and yeah, it was great. It was perfect little thing for a company like this. And I was like, that's awesome. It's awesome that you guys have stuff like that, because I don't know, maybe they don't get it, that many outsiders, like non-locals come up there, or non-guys on motorcycles, or because everybody that I had talked to when I had said, hey, let's go to the Junction, or a friend of mine told me about the Junction, and these are guys that live in San Jose or live in Palo Alto and all this kind of stuff. They were like, where the hell is the Junction? Like, what's that? And I was like, it's supposed to be awesome, But I think it's very similar to people that live anywhere, right? We go where we go, and we're never really take the time to be tourists in our own our own city and our own towns and stuff like that, right? Well, I know when I moved to Ottawa, one of the of course, the first little while, I went and saw a few little things, and that was cool because we moved to Ontario from Alberta, which was, a change. But it was years, and I was like, man, there's so much that you could do in Ottawa. They have a canal, they have a river, they have all kinds of stuff that runs through it. They got boat tours and bus tours and all this stuff for tourists coming in, and I'm like, I've never seen any of this. So I know me and my wife took a weekend one month in the summer, and we just said, let's be tourists in our own town, and we ended up, going out and spending time and just seeing all these things, which was cool. Like, we did a lot of little canal tours and boat tours and bus tours, and it was a great way to see your own city and spend some money. So I do encourage that for anybody else, because there's so much cool things and diversity and I don't know, things that normally you would travel so far away. Your own town, your own country is always, maybe kind of just there when you live in it, but other people come through it and they find things. You can find those things too, which is good, So yeah, that's my side trip. Anyway, yeah, that road out there was good, but that's why I haven't posted anything to kind of get back on track, because I was away for so much and I didn't have a motorcycle. Now, I did get a chance to go for a quick little ride on a Harley, not very long of a ride, about 15 minutes. One of the places down there let me take one out when the guy rode along with me, and that was fun. But it kind of made me homesick a little bit and be like, oh, I miss my bike and I miss riding and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, a lot of cool roads. One day I'll go down there. But renting a motorcycle in California, at least in the San Francisco area, is ridiculously expensive. Like ridiculously expensive. I can't remember what they were asking. It was like, so it was like a couple $100 a day, and I was like, okay, well that's doable. If I want to take it out for a day or two, I could cope with that. But then it was like, yeah, and then we need to have like a $3,000 deposit on your credit card. And I'm like, nope. I'm living off my credit card right now. Like I'm traveling, and you guys can't put a $3,000 hold on it because I need that money to survive while I'm. Yeah, and I get it. You don't use it, but you hold it. And I've known from previous experiences that when you put a hold on it and you return whatever, the bike or whatever, and they're like, okay, you've returned it and everything's in good standing, a lot of times the hold doesn't come off right away. And I don't have a credit card that's $1 billion. My credit card is like a couple thousand, so that $3,000 would have just racked the whole thing up. So I was like, okay, well, guess not renting a bike because I can't. So whatever. Sometime when I do my cross Canada ride, so from here to Vancouver, and then I've kind of decided now because of that little experience, and I may not go all the way down to like San Francisco or whatever, but I'm definitely going to ride down the coast for like a day or wherever that day puts me down the coast. I'm going to ride it because it's awesome. It was just an awesome ride, and I really, really liked it. So riding it on a bike would be cool. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm back now. I'm home. Been home for a little while. It was actually quite sucky, I guess, when I was gone. A lot of rain. It rained a fair bit. Not a huge lot, but a fair bit when I got back. So I get what they were complaining about. In California, of course, I had no rain, which was, I guess, the standard. It's time for me to get back on the bike. Well, not as if I haven't been on the bike for the last 2 weeks, but I have. But time to get back on the bike and start filming stuff. So this is my first long ride since I've been home, which means that it's really my first. And I say long ride, being that I'm not just riding to work. It's a nice ride out and I'll spend a couple hours on the bike today. But it's what am I saying? It's what's the day? The 3rd of September, I think. 2nd or 3rd maybe. And it's about 28 degrees outside today. And one of the big things is that coming up, so this Sunday you'll get another video from me. Probably won't be Sunday, but you'll get one from me, as we are having, or they are holding here, the Guide Dogs for the Blind run. I did this run last year, and it was an actual guided run last year, so there was like, I don't know, 100 bikes all riding beside each other, which was cool. This year, though, it's self-guided, so we'll probably go off in groups. Now, I hope I get a couple of people to come ride with me, which would be really nice, instead of just riding on my own. If not, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find somebody to snag along with and do the ride. But that's this weekend coming up, so that'll be good. The following weekend is the Cruise Don't Bruise ride. Now, that's a ride that I had every intention of going to, or going on last year, but it was the one that I missed because I got in the accident last year with my bike, and having an accident on a bike a day or two previous, and then deciding to go on a 2 or 3 hour motorcycle ride. The doctors weren't too fond of that. They were like, yeah, no, you don't do that. So I ended up going down and just, seeing everybody off from the start and stuff like that, and came home. So me and my daughter just rode down there in the car, and that was it. So this year I'm going to ride it. It's one of the few rides, actually, for anybody that knows the Ottawa area. It's one of the few rides that actually does a ride on the east side. The majority of all rides, except for Ride for Dad, which goes across, which starts in the east and ends in the west, but actually does the majority of the polka ride in the west. This is the only one that does the entire thing on the east side of it. So, it's good, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that are like, oh, no, that's way over there. And I'm like, really? It's way over there? It's a half an hour that way. It just gives you more time on your bike. How bad can that be? But anyway, people are people. So anyway, I'm gonna stop yammering for a little bit, I think, and I'm gonna just enjoy the ride. Again, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going or where I'm gonna end up. I think the only thing that's gonna help me decide is when my my ass decides to tell me, nope, you're good. You should probably turn around now and head back. And at that point, I will. So, all right, boys and girls. I will probably talk to you again, but enjoy my ride with me. Glad you're coming along, and thanks for the chat. Ciao for now.